Morning, folks. It's early, and I'm already doing take two, which makes this like the 10th or 11th attempt at making this video. I'm going to be as quick as I can because I'm really getting annoyed. First of all, I'm starting a new series for my thousands of subscribers. I'm sure you'll be thrilled and excited about it. What it is, my collection appreciation, digging my own crates videos. Every day, or approximately something like that, I'm going to pull one record out of my collection, and I'm going to play only that record that day. I will really give it a good listen, and then I'll show a short video about it. Why? One, I've got, 1,200 or so LPs and several hundred 45s, and that's a lot of music, and there's a lot of it that I just don't really listen to much, or that I have neglected too much. And I realize that, and I really get to thinking about that because of reason number two, which is that I see a lot of emphasis, and this isn't everybody, number one, and number two, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but there is a lot of emphasis on acquisition in the community, in all of the community. Acquisition of records that, and in such quantity that I know they're not getting really deep plays. Nobody's, when you buy 500 records, you're not listening to all of them in any great detail. And, that's fine if you're buying stock to resell and things like that, or if you're buying, somebody's collection, and that's the only way they'll sell it. And there's nothing wrong with any of that. But it can get overwhelming, and it can become kind of just a bit much for me. I don't buy that way, and I'm more interested within the community in seeing the records that you love and that you enjoy playing and care about a lot more than I am, this is okay, but that doesn't really, So at any rate, that's those are the two big reasons. I'm sure a few people are not going to like what I'm saying there, and again, let me say, I'm not, number one, I'm not singling anybody out, and number two, I am not saying that there's anything wrong with that. But after a while, for me, that's not the emphasis that, that's not the stuff that really interests me the most. It's nice to see those kind of things, but it's even nicer to see people talking about the stuff they really like and they really love, and what they're collecting, because that's what they care about musically. I'm holding in my hand the reason why I chose what I chose. This isn't the record that I'm talking about, but this was recently posted by Captain Zoot when he was showing his acquisitions, which wasn't hundreds. It was just, and by the way, dude, you buy really nice quality stuff, I gotta say. But he showed this. He had just recently got it. And of course, I think everybody just about knows this album. It's the best known album by Neutral Milk Hotel, In the Airplane Over the Sea. This is the 2009 Merge reissue on 180 gram vinyl. And it's a very nice record. I bought it when it came out at local record store. And they also had at the same time reissued the On Avery Island. I didn't buy On Avery Island at the time, and then when I kept thinking about it, and I went back like a month later, and it was gone. So I ended up buying that as a download, and of course I have both of those on CDs that I've burned from downloading. But in 2011, Neutral Milk Hotel Records issued this box set, and this sits in my shelf next to In the Aeroplane Over the Sea, and every time I think, well, I'd like to listen to some Neutral Milk Hotel, I reach over there, and the box, which is packaged very beautifully, kind of, intimidates me. You have to get it out, and there's a bunch of stuff in it, and so I don't dig down very far, and so I end up playing one of the same two things over and over, and usually it turns into being In the Aeroplane Over the Sea if I'm playing vinyl. Here is I'll just show real quick. The albums were repressed. They're on 180 gram vinyl, gatefold sleeves that I believe were designed specifically for this. Here's the In the Aeroplane Over the Sea. That was on Avery Island. There are two big, gorgeous posters in here, both of which I need to frame. I'm going to say this. I have to remember to mention this. Best way to preserve your posters is not to leave them in the sleeve, which is unfortunately what I'm doing. But as you can afford it, frame them in archival grade, using archival grade backing and mats and UV filtering glass. And that's probably the very best way to keep them, or lay them flat, unfold them, because eventually, over time, these creases where they are folded will become brittle, and they will break. Even you can leave it just sitting like I have had at one time a set of posters that were from the 30s that had been folded up and never opened, and every one of them would split when you went to unfold them. Almost every one of them. I don't have them anymore. I framed those that were interesting enough and sold them back when I was antique type dealer. Here's where I'm getting to what I'm wanting to show you and what I listen to. And I started doing this actually 2 days ago. I started doing it Thursday and Thursday night. Friday, listen to it again, and I'm glad I did because there's a fair amount of material here. And today I'm done, and I'm not that but I'm really glad I dug these out. I am so glad. These are records that I have just neglected so much. So I'm going to show them to you and talk about them real quick. I played all of this, but since 2 days, so I think I'm not cheating too much in doing that. This EP is titled Everything Is. Everything Is was released as a single with 2 tracks a couple of times, released as a 3-track EP and as a 4-track EP. This has more tracks, has some bonus tracks, and on the spine it's simply identified as Neutral Milk Hotel 1991 through 1993. It has the tracks Everything Is, Here We Are, Unborn, Tuesday Moon, Ruby Bulbs, Snow Song, and An Egma Blowtorch. Jeff Magnum plays guitar, drums, voice, accordion, and tapes. Shannon Wills, voice on Ruby Bulbs. Bill Doss plays drums on Ruby Bulbs. Yvonne Grizaus, I don't know why Eastern European, and particularly Polish, seem to love to pile consonants on each other. But I'm going to try Grenowitz. That's how I'm going to guess that it's pronounced, Grenowitz. Yvonne Grenowitz plays Dream Tape, which I'm not really sure what exactly that means, on Tuesday Moon, and Colby Katz contributes voice on some of the tracks. And the tracks, the bonus tracks had never been released before, and it all has all new artwork. Great music, very reminiscent to me of, or reminding me a lot of very early Sebadoh, the Centradoh and first Sebadoh album, that stuff, and even Sebadoh 3, that album, which are great albums. I had to yank some of that out and play it. I haven't listened to that for a while either. This is all previously unreleased music. This is titled on their on the Neutral Milk Hotel website, is titled Ferris Wheel on Fire. It's simply identified as Neutral Milk Hotel on the spine, and contains, if I can get the card isn't in here. That's where did I put? Oh, it's right here. No, that's the credit or the thank you stuff. I don't know where it is, so I can't read you the titles. But one of them is Ferris Wheel on Fire, and is basically almost entirely just Jeff Magnum playing solo. Somebody's playing melodica and somebody's playing singing saw on a bit of it, but the rest of it is that. And it was recorded over a period of time from 1992 to 1995. Then, there it is. No, that's the other one. I'm going to have to find that now. Also, there are three 7-inch records that come with it, and I included them. This beautiful record, really, the other side is just like that. Features the songs You've Passed and Where You'll Find Me Now, both of which are from On Avery Island, but these are not that version. These are all only Jeff Magnum is playing, and he's playing guitar, drums, air organ. Is that a pump organ maybe of some sort? And singing. And they were recorded at his dad's house in Louisiana between October and December of 1994. They're different versions and really good, really good stuff. And kind of a treasure to have. And I don't believe that this had ever been released before. This was released in 1998 in England, and I don't believe has ever been released since. This is two versions of one song. Isn't that gorgeous? I love this stuff. The song is called Little Birds, and it's kind of peculiar because the white side, which is listed first, is Little Bird's Unfinished Version 1, and it's a live recording. And the black side is titled Unfinished Birds, or Little Bird's Unfinished Version 2. But the reason I say that's peculiar is the Unfinished Version 2 was recorded the day that the song was written in December of 1998. It's strictly Jeff Magnum playing and is dedicated to Matthew Shepard. Really beautiful song too, by the way. And then this is a reissue. This had been issued. It's 2 songs. Although I don't know how, I don't know what the form took when it was originally issued. It is Holland 1945 from In the Airplane Over the Sea, and the flip side is the song Engine. And it comes in that beautiful picture disc, and then is wrapped in this poster, which is another one I really, really must frame. On the back side of it, by the way, I don't know, you probably could even see it through it a little bit. I certainly can. The direction of the light shining for me is the Elephant 6 logo. All of Elephant 6 are interesting. At one time, I thought that this was everything that they had released, and that's not true. Neutral Milk Hotel, first of all, Elephant 6 released as their own label, apparently 5 cassettes, and those go for crazy money. Crazy money. We're talking over $100 for one of those cassettes, most likely. I can't remember the title of it. A few of the songs reappear later in other versions, but at any rate, this was released. It's been out of print for ages, and so that was included. This is the way it's packaged, and that makes it kind of hard to dig out. So I tend to kind of, I don't want to say it intimidates me, but I just sort of shy away from pulling this box set out. And I'm mainly because I don't want to rip that out and toss it, and I'm not really sure how else to deal with it. So it kind of ends up, yeah, that's where that other card is, I think. Oh, it's somewhere in here. So I have a tendency not to want to break this box set out in particular. All box sets are a little awkward, I think. But most of them are not quite as much as this one, which, although I have to say, now that I've pulled it out and played those for the past couple of days, it's really not that big a bother. I'll be breaking it out more often and playing it more frequently now. So that's my first choice. And I don't think I need to say a whole lot about Jeff Magnum and about his music. I mentioned Elephant 6. We all know he was a part of that cooperative of musicians who formed multiple bands, recorded on each other's albums, and really kind of, I think, in a lot of ways, sort of set a standard for independent music, or not independent music, indie music, which is a name that I find kind of annoying and not very helpful in terms of really defining a genre. It really isn't all that helpful, but it is what it is. Incredibly well known. A lot of talk about the subject, so to speak, of the album In the Aeroplane Over the Sea, which is really, I think in general, the subject of everything in this box set, really. Not Anne Frank. None of it's about Anne Frank, really. Anne Frank is one individual that we specifically can refer to. Also Matthew Shepard, as I just mentioned. But what he is about, and what his music seems to be set apart from the other music that I've heard from Elephant 6, which isn't that much. It's about pathos. There's a huge sense of pathos, almost as though Jeff Magnum has no skin, as though he's just completely vulnerable to all the suffering and pain in the world, and along with that, incredibly empathetic sense of emotional outpouring. There's also a reaching toward or a reaching for some means of transcending, of making it all bearable, which I think comes from love, There are references to transubstantiation or reincarnation, attempting to somehow rise above a world of suffering that he seems to perceive. It is no wonder to me, after listening to all of this, that Magnum eventually kind of had a emotional meltdown and breakdown and went into hiding, so to speak, became reclusive and for a number of years just simply didn't appear, and when he did appear, it would be very secretive. And he'd come in, he'd play some songs and kind of leave. And I'm very, very pleased to see that he is out touring, initially solo. He played in Lawrence, Kansas some months ago, solo. Might even be a year now. And then played just a few weeks ago in Kansas City, Kansas, or Kansas City in Missouri. And I didn't get to go to either of those. My nephew went to the Neutral Milk Hotel show, and he seemed kind of enthusiastic about it, but I haven't really had a chance to talk to him yet about it. And I've heard some rumors that maybe there's going to be some new Neutral Milk Hotel, which I think is going to be quite an event. These albums of all the Elephant Six, I think, have had a bigger influence on music sense, the indie music. Many imitators, few equals. I've got to say that. There's a lot of indie music that seems very derivative to me, but there are a lot of things that he does in these albums that definitely others since then have really kind of picked up, and very successful, very well known stuff. The box set was again reissued in 2014, just this year, and that's sold out. It differs from this box set in that the cover art on the box is a silver foil print, and both of them seem to be selling for crazy money. Some of it obviously and ridiculously high, and all I can think is you really don't want to sell that. There's somebody who has one of them. I think it's the second box set, and they're asking like over $500 for it. And I'm like, yeah, right. That's going to happen. Not. I don't think so. But maybe, who knows? Maybe in a few years somebody might be desperate enough to have a copy of it to pay that. I thought it was still in print. I paid less than $100 for mine, including shipping, and I saw that when they put out the second issue this year, that the price had gone to $110, which still is, I think, a very, very reasonable price for it. And used, it looks like, by used I mean secondary market, anything from 165 up to over 500. For those of you that matter. I'm not selling mine anyway, so it doesn't really matter that much to me, or at least I don't think I'm going to anytime in the near future. I'll probably do it one of these days to pay medical bills when I'm, needing treatment for dementia or something. That's all I've got to say. I hope you all have a great day. Sun's shining right in my window and blinding me here, finally. It's 8:40 in the morning now, and I've already picked my next record, and I'll talk about that later. I think you're going to be surprised at some of the things that I play. They're not all going to be deep underground. That's a pretty well-known record right there. Just maybe a little counter thing for the other stuff. Peace out. Have a great day. If you're going out and buying 5,000 records today, have a good time and enjoy every last one of them. And if you're going to stay home and just play some of your records yourself, or your CDs, or your MP3s on your iTunes iPod thing, or whatever you play, you have a great time. Enjoy the music. That's the important thing.